Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to be with you. I just want to talk about revelation and reason and just hit on the head a prejudice in the academic and intellectual world at the present time and concerning Christianity, and that's basically this, and it's pumped on the internet, on websites and in mainstream academia. And basically there's certain thinkers such as Richard Dawkins and his ilk that will say that Christianity is about faith and atheism is about reason, and because we are the evidential ones and the Christians are the faith, we're the ones with the intellect and the Christians are the ones without the intellect and we win the argument. Kind of goes something like that. I just want to say that the internet skeptics and atheists and many of these atheist scholars that are in the Richard Dawkins ilk. There are not many these days, thank goodness, but there are quite a few still knocking around, pumping this kind of crass understanding of Christianity. I want to say that, first of all, Christianity is rich. If you look at St. Thomas Aquinas, you look at St. Augustine, just to name two, there's two theologians that believe in the importance of reason and revelation, and they have their own nuances of what reason and revelation means, and you could spend a whole lifetime just studying those two theologians and how they relate to philosophy. So in other words, this demarcation between reason and revelation is too simplistic, doesn't really consider the rich historical information that we can find in various philosophers and theologians and the nuanced understandings of reason and revelation. Secondly, again, in specifics, many theologians and philosophers have engaged on the issue of reason and revelation. For example, Pascal did work prior to postmodernism and prior to Enlightenment, which is more radical and profound than Kant or any postmodern philosopher has ever written. If you read his work, his letters on reason, there is a very sophisticated, nuanced understanding of reason and its capabilities and how it relates to faith. They are never in competition, but there is a nuance there that far exceeds in advancement of the Enlightenment and also postmodernism. For example, Pascal makes it very clear that even though he values reason, he is also skeptical and sees the limitation of reason. So he got there before Kant and before postmodernism ever got there. He realized the limitations of modernism before Kant or before the postmodernists of Derrida. That's one example of Christian thinkers being subtle in their thinking about revelation and reason, and people like Dawkins not picking up on that, and they want to take people who are evangelical and they want to bracket them off as fundamentalists and anti-intellectual, and that is just demonization, and it's not actually true to the Christian faith and traditions of the Christian faith of various theologians, etc. And many evangelical scholars take from these rich theological and philosophical traditions within Christianity. Thirdly, this demarcation between reason and revelation, as if Dawkins has the evidence and Christians have the faith, the fact is that everybody has faith. There are certain presuppositions that nobody can prove evidentially. So the atheist cannot prove that reality exists evidentially. They have to assume it. Atheists cannot prove that reason is reasonable without using reason, so it's circular argument, so therefore they have to presume that reason is reasonable. So everybody's got faith, so there's a disingenuousness there between this kind of demarcation of revelation and reason that Dawkins is proposing. Next, the theologians of the past would never agree with this dichotomy between reason and faith. Every theologian of note whether Catholic, whether or Greek Orthodox, whether whatever in the past. Even mystics had nuanced understandings of reason and revelation. It was not pitched in this crass either or position that Dawkins presents. Next, an example of reason and revelation working together is the revival of philosophy within the West over the last 20 to 30 years. We've seen in America and in the UK a revival of philosophy departments talking about religious philosophy, and that's because of Christian philosophers such as Alvin Plantinga and others who have followed him, who have shown that Christian philosophy is vigorous, is powerful, and should be respected, and it's now been incorporated in mainstream academic philosophical life. And the same thing is happening in France at the moment, where there is a revival of philosophy from the Christian perspective. So this disparity between revelation and reason, as if reason is not interested, revelation is not interested in reason, is completely not honest. Also, it fails to consider the various debates within Christianity, from Tertullian, who had the idea that I questioned what role philosophy had with revelation, but was certainly not anti-intellectual. He was a trained lawyer, to various thinkers like St. Augustine and people like that, who incorporated philosophy in their theological reflection. In other words, things are much more nuanced, much more complicated, much more sophisticated than this crass, simplistic reason of revelation, either or. We're the rationalists, they're the ones of faith, end of story. Crass definition. I would encourage you to read some of the great systematic theology books. I'll link to Charles Hodge, and you'll see that things are much more sophisticated and nuanced than these crass skeptics on the internet and in the academic world are pumping out today. Alright, take care.